At 3 o'clock between Bournemouth and Burnley. Right now, though, here on Talksport 2, it's the Europa League Live. West Ham are on a record-breaking run, 17 games without defeat in Europe. Can they extend it and make it 3 wins from 3 in Group A? Taking you through the action tonight, former Villa midfielder Andy Townsend. But first, your match commentator for this evening, Alex Crook.
Thank you, Ollie. Good evening, everybody. Athens is famous for its ancient ruins. West Ham hoping their record-breaking unbeaten run in Europe will not be consigned to history this evening. They're up against a hostile and volatile home crowd as they bid to make it 18 games without defeat against continental opposition. So hostile, in fact, that even English journalists were targeted by Olympiacos ultras upon arrival for last night's pre-match press conference. Andy Townsend, job number one, surely, is to silence this incredibly loud crowd.
Yeah, it is. It's a belting atmosphere, Crookie. It really is, and you're absolutely right. I think what they must make sure is that they just deny Olympiacos. I would expect a fast start from the home team here. I think they're pumped up. They know that they need a result. A real positive start tonight would be the perfect way to respond to this vibrant crowd here.
Well, David Moyes, as expected, brings the changes from that surprisingly one-sided defeat at Aston Villa in the Premier League at the weekend. Only Alphonse Areola in goal. Emerson, James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Souček keep their places. The likes of Jarrod Bowen, Lucas Paquetá, Mikel Antonio, Kurt Zouma all dropping to the bench. So Areola is the goalkeeper. To back four of Kera, Mavropanos, Ogbonna and Emerson. Ward-Prowse, Souček and Fornals make up midfield with Saeed Benrahma and Mohamed Kudus, who's got 2 goals already in Europe this season, either side of Danny Ings up front. As for Olympiacos, Paschalakis is the goalkeeper. Rodinei, Perozzo, Retsos and Ortega the back four. Alexandropoulos, Kamara and Heze in midfield, with Daniel Podence on loan from Wolves and Kostas Fortounis either side of El Kabi, their leading goal scorer up front. We are just about ready for kick-off here on Talksport 2, the start of a big night for Premier League teams in Europe, with Brighton in action at home to Ajax and Aston Villa away from home in the Conference League as well. But just listen to that roar here in Piraeus. The Olympiacos fans making it a real cauldron for these travelling West Ham players who've won their last 8 European group stage games. If they can make it 9 in a row, then they will have 1 foot firmly in the knockout stages. The referee is just awaiting the go-ahead to kick us off. Olympiacos in their usual home colours of the red and white striped jerseys with the red shorts and socks. West Ham United all in dark blue, and it is a real cacophony of noise at this jam-packed arena. Well, the West Ham fans have been enjoying the local sights, the Acropolis and all. The Olympiacos ultras have been in and around the stadium for several hours. We are underway. West Ham attacking the goal away to our right. Having failed to win their last 2 matches, they'll be keen to get back to victorious ways this evening. There's Thilo Kehrer nodding the ball down inside the Olympiacos half. There was a coming together, but the referee decided that play should continue, and here's Fortounis coming in from the left-hand side, stroking the ball out to the far right touchline for Olympiacos, with the Brazilian Rodinei crossing and winning a corner. Andy Townsend inside 35 seconds, deflected behind off Emerson.
As predicted, Olympiacos looking very positive right from the get-go. Surging men forward, Rodinei there, the right back, getting himself in advanced position. They take the corner short.
And it's going to be crossed in by the captain Fortounis towards the far post and headed well wide in the end by Retsos up from the back. But David Moyes will be alarmed with how much time and space they had inside that West Ham penalty area. The ultras waving red and white banners above their heads behind Areola's goal. I said job number one is to silence this home crowd. That might be difficult.
Good luck with that one. Yeah, no, look, it's the way you silence them is you just try and keep that ball. But I mentioned earlier, there's keeping it, there's start knocking it from centre half to centre half across the back and back to the goalie and into midfield and back again. You start inviting a press, you invite trouble.
Here's
Kudos. Play in their half.
Flicking it forward to the area. Lovely little back heel from Ben Rama, and then Ben Rama had strayed into an offside position as he got the return pass from Souček, and Olympiacos have a free kick in their own left back position. No wins in their last 11 European matches. Olympiacos, their longest such winless run on the continent. They are far and away the most successful team in Greece. 47 league titles. They're top of the table as it stands, having finished third last season. If they don't win the league, then it is seen as a bit of a disaster, as the ball is launched long by their goalkeeper Paschalakis, but straight out of play level with the West Ham penalty area down the right hand side. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talksport 2 in the company of Alex Crook and Andy Townsend, the former Republic of Ireland midfielder, as Thilo Kehrer takes a few extra yards before finally hoisting the throw forward to Danny Ings. Kudus trying to keep it in play, but has it stolen away by Camera, and then it's played all the way back to the edge of the Olympiacos penalty area, and the Ecuadorian Jackson Perozzo cleared upfield by Paschalakis, the grey-shirted goalkeeper. Nodded down on the halfway line by Emerson for West Ham, and then Thomas Souček just cushions it back to the heart of his back line, and Mavropanos, Athens-born, back on home soil, the former Arsenal man, and Emerson now combining over on that far left-hand side as we look, but it's given away again by West Ham, and a chance for Olympiacos to break, but Ogbonna was there. He wins it back, but only momentarily. The home side will be encouraged by the opening 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, twice there. Pablo Fornals just a little bit loose in possession of the ball and gives it away a little too cheaply. What they do have, West Ham, they have good ball carriers in the two wide areas, in Kudus and Ben Rama. They're important, I think, when you play in matches like this in European football.
The Wolf whistles will tell you that West Ham are in possession, with James Ward-Prowse dropping deep into his own half. It's played out to Emerson over on that far touchline. And now Mavropanos plays it towards the halfway line, and Souček. He was closed down quickly by Camera, part of the Roma side. Mady Camera, that reached the final of this competition last season, was an unused sub as they lost on penalties to Sevilla. And it's Ogbonna who launches it long upfield down the left-hand side. Across comes Perozzo and helps it back to the goalkeeper Paschalakis. And his long ball threatened to release El Kaabi, but he was the wrong side of the West Ham back line. And it will be a free kick for the visitors, 0-0.
Yeah. Both teams playing a back four. The home team pretty much a 4-3-3, box standard 4-3-3. We all know Daniel Podence. We haven't seen him with the ball at his feet yet, but we know that he likes to sort of drift in and around, doesn't want to hug the width too much. He likes to just tuck in a little bit and try and find clever little spaces to receive the ball on the half turn. He can be useful in that sort of area.
It's a neat cushion header by Kehrer midway inside the Olympiacos half. It's picked up by Kudus, who's started every Europa League game for West Ham this season, struggled to get too much game time in the Premier League so far. It's often the case when David Moyes makes a new signing, they take a while to bed in. Here's Emerson combining neatly inside the area, and in the end the shot from Fornals is straight into the arms of Paschalakis.
Lucky, nice combination work there, Emerson. He likes to get forward, doesn't he? He does, and that was good link-up play there with him and Pablo Fornals. The shot, decent effort, but just straight at the goalkeeper, just bounces in front of him, but he's able to pick it up pretty easily, no real problem there. But that's a little bit more encouraging for West Ham.
Olympiacos again looking to move the ball quickly from front to back, but it's a strong challenge by Kehrer on the halfway line. Fortunis wins it back for Olympiacos and releases Ortega on this near side. His cross is blocked by Mavropanos, and then Areola, I think, was always struggling to keep the ball in play. He slipped as he tried to do that, and he's conceded a corner. I think it was going to go behind anyway.
I think it was, yeah. It was Ortega's cross that was blocked by Mavropanos. Ortega, I beg your pardon, Areola comes flying off his line to try and clear that.
The noise level
just gives the corner away.
Goes up again. Those checked red and white flags waving behind the goal. Corner to around about the 6-yard mark, but over the head of everybody in red and white. And there's a bit of a sprint on here as camera keeps the ball in play down by the opposite corner flag. Over on the right as we look, he's 6 yards from the byline, plays it into the penalty area. And an opportunity to cross into the 6-yard box, and it was headed away initially by Thomas Soucek, and then it was Rodinei up from the back, tried with a volley, didn't make clean contact, and it's cleared away, but not very far as West Ham are concerned. Dink towards Kudos on the halfway line. He can use his pace here. He's in behind Ortega. Kudos just slows the game down as he looked for support in the centre, but he's kept possession, and he's turned away from Fortunis. He got his shot away, left-footed, blocked well outside the area by Retsos. That's a little snapshot of what Kudos can do on the counter.
He can, indeed. That was a ball that was sort of played from the edge of West Ham's 18-yard box, in behind Olympiacos. Mohamed Kudos there running onto that. He's prepared to take people on, he's prepared to travel. As I mentioned, he can carry the ball. Important to have players like that. When you're under pressure a little bit, you've got people that can get you out, get you up the field.
8 minutes gone, 0-0. Olympiacos against West Ham, the third round of matches in this season's Europa League. A reminder, we have a double header tomorrow night here on Talksport 2. England against Belgium in the Women's Nations League. That's a 7:45 kick-off at 8 o'clock on Talksport. We have live and exclusive coverage of Crystal Palace against the Premier League leaders Tottenham. Here is Daniel Podence just outside the West Ham penalty area. Opportunity to get a shot away, driven low and hard by Alexandropoulos, and it was well saved down to his left by Areola.
Nice run from Podence. Alexandropoulos hits that nicely. Areola always behind it. He had a little bit too much room there, the midfield player. He was able to take a touch and another one right onto the edge of the 18-yard box before he struck that shot. Thankfully, straight at the goalkeeper, who deals with it nicely.
Mavropanos up to the halfway line. Kudos keeps it in play for West Ham on this near side. David Moyes wearing just a t-shirt on top tonight. The very warm night in Athens is out on the edge of the technical area. His last game here as a manager ended in defeat in the first leg of a Champions League last 16 tie when he was in charge of Manchester United. They did go through over the 2 legs on aggregate, lost to Bayern Munich that year. I'm sure he would be hoping for a little bit of revenge this evening as Mavropanos guides the ball expertly out to the far left touchline. It's headed down by Fornals to Emerson. Ben Rama's made a good run ahead of the ball and cuts it back to Emerson inside the area. Rodinei just got there, the Brazilian, and it's launched long upfield by Olympiacos and then headed back towards Areola, who thankfully there for Mavropanos had a good starting position because the header was slightly undercooked.
Yeah, it was actually. It was a long kick up the field and Mavropanos trying to head that back to the goalkeeper. Wasn't quite getting there. Okabi was onto it, but thankfully the goalkeeper just comes out and deals with it.
Here's Ben Rama into the penalty area and his cross is into the side netting, and that is a wasted opportunity. It came from Olympiacos giving the ball away on the edge of the box, and Ben Rama with options in the centre really should have done better.
Yeah, I think he's got to cut it back. Good first touch, takes him into the box. He's heading towards the byline. And there, from there, he's got to look to cut that back for somebody. He tries to shoot towards the near post, and it's a real tame effort in the end.
11 minutes played. Olympiacos 0, West Ham 0. You're listening to Talksport 2. West Ham have only ever lost one group stage game in the Europa League. That was against Dinamo Zagreb when they were already qualified back in the 21-22 season. And of course, they earned their place in this season's tournament by winning the Conference League on that glorious night in Prague, live on Talksport. Here's Podence on the far side, the pint-sized Portuguese winger, but he can't keep it in play, and West Ham have a throw 15 yards inside their own half.
Whenever the ball goes out for a throw-in, whenever it goes out for a goal kick, that's where you're going to have to be in a massive hurry to get the game going again. Of course, we're all aware of new rules in terms of time wasting, etc., but no one says you've got to sprint after the ball to go and get it, etc., and things like that. That's where you use your common sense.
Here come West Ham. Kudos down by the right corner flag. He's a real box of tricks. Gets to the byline, can't keep the ball in play. It's behind for a goal kick, but he has looked every time he's on the ball that he can make something happen. Kudos.
He's tried to be positive, hasn't he? You know, every time he gets it, he wants to front somebody up and try and knock it past them, and that's exactly what you got to do. Again, if you play across the front of people time and time again, you're not going to create enough chances. In order to give Danny Ings that 6-yard box penalty spot opportunity that he relishes, somebody's got to go by their opposite number, and someone like Kudus is good at that. He just overhits that a little bit and he goes out for a goal kick.
Still goalless with 12 minutes gone. Pashalakis with a long ball upfield from the goal kick. It's one back inside the centre circle by Mavropanos, and then a lovely little flick over the head of Alexandropoulos by Ben Rama. Didn't really get him anywhere though, and Fortounis bustles back. Possession for Olympiacos, plays it into the D on the edge of the area. Half cleared away by Emerson, and then Kudus was caught napping on this near side. Didn't realise that Ortega was there. To his credit, the Ghanaian tracks back with the Argentine and manages to win the ball cleanly down by the right corner flag, and it's cleared to halfway.
Yeah, a couple of times there West Ham just a little hesitant, just not got the right communication in place there. Two players staring at the ball, nobody attacking it, and a red shirt picks it up and gets Olympiacos on the front foot again. But at the moment, Crookie, everything okay. We're 13 minutes in, and Areola hasn't been severely tested. He's had that one shot from Alexandropoulos from the edge of the box.
Here's Ortega though, picking out Podence in space on the edge of the area, crosses to the far side of the box, and it's kept alive by Rodinei. West Ham a bit slow to clear their lines. In comes the centre from Fortounis, but it's high over the crossbar. When they have got into decent positions, Olympiacos, when they've stretched the fullbacks, their final ball has been poor.
It has indeed. It's been really poor. I think their Podence worked really hard to get himself in a lovely bit of space in behind Tilo Kehrer and Mavropanos. And he got into that space. The delivery into the box was poor. There weren't a tremendous amount of numbers in there either. It was only really El Kabi. So they've got to be brave, and they've got to commit more people ahead of the ball.
Still we await the first goal. Olympiacos 0, West Ham 0. We play 14 minutes. There's Angelo Ogbonna, the towering centre-back for West Ham, thrusts it forward to the halfway line, nodded on by Kehrer, and then Podence helps it forward, but Mavropanos under no real pressure midway inside the West Ham half, just rolls his studs over the top of the ball and plays it back for Ogbonna again. West Ham back in action on Sunday, by the way. We've got an action-packed Sunday session for you, live from Old Trafford, as United take on City in the Manchester derby. Goals as they go in from Liverpool, Forest and West Ham against Everton as well. It's going to be some afternoon in Manchester.
Just seeing the West Ham guys, they're rolling that ball across the back. As I mentioned earlier, back to the goalkeeper, a little bit of pressure. He boots it straight out for Olympiacos throw. I think you can keep the ball better higher up the field than always thinking about going back to the goalie.
Here's Podence coming in from the right-hand side, just outside the area. His pass is intercepted by James Ward-Prowse, and he's going to knock it forward now towards the centre circle. Fornals dispossessed for a moment, but managed to usher the ball back from Mavropanos. Well, the first half of the last Europa League game for West Ham away from home at Freiburg was almost too easy. That certainly hasn't been the case in the opening 16 minutes tonight. They've been put under an awful lot of pressure.
Yeah. Again, I think the home team recognising that when they get the chance to commit people forward and take West Ham on, they've got to do that. As I mentioned, their first couple of games, I think, have been ordinary, Olympiacos, so they've got to prove that and show that they can step up another level tonight.
Yeah, they drew 2-2 in their first game against Baka Topola, who incidentally are 1-0 up against Freiburg in the other game in this group. They came from twice behind, ended up losing 3-2 against the German outfit on the opening round of the competition. Here's Soucek, 15 yards inside the Olympiacos half with the score at 0-0. He goes back into West Ham territory, and that's a risky one from Mavropanos with the aerial ball towards Ogbonna. Almost allow Fortounis to nip in, but Ogbonna calmly plays it forward towards Emerson in the left wing position. Emerson dispossessed by a strong but fair challenge down by the corner flag from Santiago Heze, the Argentine. But what they've been good at doing, West Ham, in the opening 17 minutes when they are out of possession, they regroup and they win the ball back very quickly.
Yeah, bundling back, making sure they get goal side and compact as well. I think that's the key. If there's no pressure on the ball, those defenders have got to backpedal. Can't hold the ground and hold your line. If there's not enough pressure being applied to the ball in the middle of the park, you've got to backpedal, make sure that everyone's aware of that. So far, West Ham have looked pretty good when they go out of possession.
Olympiacos 0, West Ham 0. 17 gone. The loud atmosphere has continued throughout the first 18 minutes. Drums are being banged. Almost all of the home fans behind Areola's goal on their feet. I mean, this is just about as hostile an atmosphere as some of these West Ham players will ever have played in.
Yeah, it is. It's a noise, that's for sure. But so far, so good. I think David Moyes will have been very aware of this opening 15-20 minute spell. And again, Areola largely hasn't been too concerned about anything.
Ball swung out to the right-hand side for Olympiacos. It's chested down by Rodinei, taking on Emerson, getting his cross in. It was a powerful one, but it was always sailing behind the goal. Areola watched it all the way, and it's a goal kick for the Hammers.
Yeah, I mean, Rodinei, he's one of those fullbacks. He's adventurous. He likes to get forward. He's taking on Emerson there, taking him to the byline, trying to stand across up as it is. He clips it behind the goal, which is always the cardinal sin for any fullback. Nothing worse than seeing those players get high up the field, really showing a lot of endeavour to get there, and then when they get the chance to cross it, they clip it behind the goal. His quality's got to be much better than that.
Certainly the home side dominating possession without seriously troubling Areola as yet. Here's Camara, plays the ball out to the right hand side where it's controlled neatly by Rodinei. Good run from the Brazilian fullback. Was he fouled by Emerson? Referee says yes. There's going to be a free kick in a dangerous position here just outside the box. The opportunity for the captain Fortunis to swing it into the area. It's actually Pablo Fornals who caught him.
Does get a bit on the ball actually, Pablo Fornals. He gets a little on the ball. He kind of tackles the fullback from the side, gets a little bit on the ball, perhaps not enough to convince the referee. He decides immediately that it's a free kick Olympiacos. So good situation this for the home team. Wide free kick about 35 yards out.
Fortunis is regarded as a bit of a dead ball specialist, wearing that skipper's armband. There are a cluster of 5 red and white shirts inside the area. The diminutive Podence is loitering just outside the box. They need to be switched on here, West Ham, and it's a really good header away by Thomas Souček. And here's Danny Ings. Maybe the first time we've mentioned him in the first 20 minutes, Ings. But he's got the ball forward on the West Ham left. Ben Rama with a lot of work to do against a sea of red and white jerseys. And I think he's done really well, Ben Rama, to win his team a corner because he was so isolated.
He was. There was absolutely nobody with him at all. Danny Ings had rolled the ball out to him. Ben Rama there galloping from the halfway line. Didn't have anybody in the box at all. So get what you can, and he does that very well by getting his team a corner, which James Ward-Prowse is about to go out and deliver, hopefully with his customary expertise, to give these big guys like Souček, like Ogbonna, Emerson and co an opportunity to go and attack it.
James Ward-Prowse will take the corner from the far side, the West Ham left. He's already racked up 6 assists this season since that summer move from Southampton, including one from a set piece in the last game in this competition against Freiburg. Olympiacos will be aware of the threat that he poses. 21 minutes in, 0-0, and it's Ward-Prowse to deliver. In-swinger to the near post. Souček helped it back into the area, cleared out to Ward-Prowse. Again, it's deflected, and it's behind off Fortunis for a second corner. And dare I say it, Andy Townsend, by James Ward-Prowse's high standards, that was disappointing.
It was very rarely do you see him dunk a corner into the first man at the near post. But he gets another chance to reload and to whip something in. Pashalakis there, the goalkeeper, complaining at the referee that he's getting just blocked out a little bit. This one's coming right under the crossbar. There's 4 blue shirts, 4 West Ham shirts, right on the goalkeeper's line.
Yeah, Thomas Souček again hugging the near post. Ben Rama in there as well. Again, he swung it into Souček. Again, he won the header. So it's clearly a tactic, but his header only diverts the ball away from the box. It's looped back into that area. Oh, and it's chested into his own net by one of the Olympiacos defenders, Perazzo, but the whistle had already gone for a foul.
Mavropanos it was. Who actually carelessly, as the ball was in the air, it was a looping cross back in from Emerson. And the West Ham centre-half just puts his hands in the middle of an opponent's back, concedes a cheap and easy free kick, and all the pressure is therefore relieved. But we're approaching 22-23 minutes. Again, I said at the start of the game, Crookie, that I think anything here for West Ham tonight is a positive result. It really is. At the moment, they're looking okay.
Here's Daniel Podence, though, streaking down the left-hand side, trying to make his way into the penalty area, up against Kehrer. Brilliant defending, blocks the cross, and it ricochets against Podence and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, really good work, that, Thilo Kehrer. Podence is jinking him and looking like he's going to drop the shoulder and step inside. Eventually heads for the byline. Kehrer reads that really nicely, blocks the cross and gets the bounce of the ball. Comes back off Podence for a goal kick.
West Ham have actually had more of the ball, surprisingly. 39% possession for Olympiacos in the opening quarter of this game. It's 0-0. It just feels like Olympiacos have had more moments of promise in the final third.
Yeah, I think they've had perhaps more ball in the opposing territory. That's the next thing for West Ham. They've been comfortable. They look pretty secure at the back now. Can they stitch a little more together at the top of the field?
I wonder if the plan is get to the hour 0-0 and then maybe bring on the likes of Bowen and Paquetá and try and turn 1 point into 3.
Well, I think certainly in terms of a plan, the main plan to start with when you go away from home in Europe is to make sure that you are very difficult to play through.
Podence playing it forward to Fortunis, out the right-hand side, where Rodinei comes forward from the back. He's now with El Kaabi, finds Podence just outside the area, jinking away from the attention of Ward-Prowse, then crosses it into the box, and well read by Kudus, because I tell you what, Cameron was winding up there for a volley, and Kudus just nonchalantly stole it and nicked it away.
Yeah, he did it very well, unfortunately there.
That's a side to his game that David Moyes will admire, isn't it? Not so much the ability to carry the ball forward, but to do his defensive duty as well.
And away from home in Europe, you've got to have your wide players doing that. He knows that Pablo Fornals, he knows that he's going to get that. So they've got this kind of 4-3-3 look. When they go out of possession, Ben Rama is filling into the number 10 position up there with Danny Ings. Fornals off the left, Kudus off the right with Souček and Ward-Prowse. So very much a 4-4-1-1 when they lose the ball.
Here come Olympiacos again. Rodinei down the right-hand side. He's got 2 to aim at in the centre. Crosses towards the near post. It was over the head of El Kaabi. Cleared away by Kehrer. Picked up by Fortunis, the captain. He drives towards the penalty area. Picks out Ortega just outside the box. Thought about the shot. Instead finds Camara. They're playing their way through neatly here, Olympiacos, and it was Souček in the end who stole the ball away from Camara and cleared it up to the halfway line. 0-0.
Yeah, better play from Olympiacos that. They're now starting to apply a little more heat towards West Ham's 18-yard box. They've just started to lift the tempo once more. They've had these little flourishes and flashes without really keeping their foot to the floor, but it's been a bit promising, a bit more promising from the home team the last 5 minutes.
Camara plays it forward, back to goal. Fortunis plays it out wide left, dinked into the area, the West Ham area that is, and it's sliced behind by Mavropanos, who had far more time than he took there, and he's out for a throw.
He's only got to let it go. He's going out for a goal kick. There is no one within 15 yards of Mavropanos, but he panics, doesn't get the shout. Maybe he feels he needs to get off Areola, and he boots it away and gives the ball straight back to Olympiacos.
He has looked a little bit ring rusty. Mavropanos signed from Stuttgart for £19 million, but again, like Kudus, has had to get most of his game time in the cup competitions, and I guess when you make 7 changes, 3 of them at the back, that's the issue, isn't it? Particularly in the centre half areas. Here come Olympiacos again. Rodinei down the right hand side, picks out Fortunis, who puts it through the legs of Ward-Prowse, but sliding on his knees, Areola safely takes the ball.
Yeah, don't commit a lot of people into the box, Olympiacos. That's one thing I would say about them. But I think they're working hard. They're trying to break West Ham down, but El Kaabi needs more in and around him. For sure he does. I think at the moment, whenever the ball goes wide, he's pretty much a solitary figure in the box.
27 minutes played. It's Olympiacos 0, West Ham 0 on Talksport 2. The other game in this group, back at top of last, still leave Freiburg by a goal to 0. That would be a good result as far as West Ham are concerned. As Ogbonna plays it back into his own half, and Mavropanos. Don't forget, we'll have updates over on Talksport on kick-off throughout the evening. Brighton against Ajax. Feels like a big opportunity for Brighton to get their first ever European win, and Liverpool at home to Toulouse. Both of those are 8 o'clock kickoffs. Here on the right hand side is Kera, plays it down the line to Kudus, and an intelligent header forward by Fornal as Benrahma can't keep the ball in play. Ushered behind, down by the corner flag by Retsos, and it will be a goal kick for Olympiacos with the score 0-0.
Yeah, I just think West Ham actually again, as they get over the halfway line and they look to try and get Ings and Benrahma and Kudus involved at the top of the field. Final ball's been a bit poor. Little ordinary up to now in that respect.
Andy Townsend will be delighted to know that his former club Aston Villa 2-0 up away from home in the Conference League. AZ Alkmaar 0, Aston Villa 2. Leon Bailey and Yuri Tillemans with the goals there as Mavropanos under pressure from El Kaabi. The Moroccan heads it back to his goalkeeper Areola.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good start to the evening for Aston Villa. Useful side they are, and I'm not surprised to see that they're taking control of that game. Now they've got to make sure they stay there. What we need now is for West Ham to just apply a little more quality in the top of the field in the final third. Looking pretty safe and secure. The odd little sortie from Olympiacos, but nothing too dramatic.
They can't afford to give the ball away cheaply though. Fornals has done that in the centre circle. It's carried towards the penalty area by Camera. Gets his shot away, deflected off Ogbonna, who is the captain tonight, Angelo Ogbonna, interestingly. In the absence of Kurt Zouma amongst the subs, and he blocked that shot and it balloons up into the arms of Areola.
Yeah, you're right. Fornals, not for the first time tonight, just trying to thread little 5-10 yard passes through a tight gap right in the middle of the field, close to the centre circle. You give those balls away in that sort of area, you can very quickly find yourselves in trouble.
Here's Emerson though, down the left-hand side, making his way towards the penalty area. The cross is blocked by Rodinei, and West Ham have their third corner. Again, it's over on that far touchline. James Ward-Prowse hasn't really made the most of the first two. Goalless in Athens.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're stacking a lot of people in and around the goalkeeper. Pashalakis, West Ham, they've got all their big guys for an in-swinging corner from Ward-Prowse. They've got, as we're waiting for this one to come in, there's Soucek, Danny Ings, I think it's Fornals as well. They're all standing right on top of the goalkeeper.
So once again, this is going to be swung into that near post area by Ward-Prowse as we welcome listeners from Talksport. Olympiacos 0, West Ham 0. It's a corner for West Ham, which James Ward-Prowse is about to take, but there is a delay because the referee has spotted some pushing and shoving in front of the goalkeeper. Andy Townsend, your thoughts during this break in play of what we've seen in the first half an hour?
Yeah, it's been pretty routine, pretty comfortable for West Ham. Olympiacos came flying out the blocks as you would have expected, but Areola has been pretty assured in goal for West Ham. What they haven't done up to now, though, the London team, is really create anything significant themselves. They've had one or two moments at the top of the field, but only one or two. They need to just show a little bit more quality, a little bit more composure in the final third.
Well, the referee has given both teams a stern talking to. Here comes the corner kick from Ward-Prowse from the left-hand side, whipped into the near post, punched away by Pashalakis, the goalkeeper, and it remains Olympiacos 0, West Ham 0. Emerson floats the ball back into the box, headed on by Ward-Prowse, but cleared by Perozzo, nodding away on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Benrahma, in sliding to keep the ball in play, has only succeeded in conceding a throw midway inside the Olympiacos half.
Yeah, those Ward-Prowse corners have been better the last couple. They were right on the money. The last one there's whipped in just under the near post. Such a dangerous delivery, but the goalkeeper, to his credit, Pashalakis there above, over the top of everybody in and around him to get his fists on it and punch it well clear.
We've got 13 and a half minutes of the first half to play. Pashalakis, the goalkeeper, plays it out to the edge of the area, picked up by Retsos in the left back position. Camera trying to chip it forward, looking for El Kaabi, and El Kaabi there ahead of Ogbonna. The Olympiacos fans, you can hear, want the free kick on the edge of the area, not given by the referee, and he's back now on the halfway line, where once again Retsos will take over. He's done well, Ogbonna, up against El Kaabi. 9 goals in 13 games this season, 6 in his last 6 for the Moroccan. But he hasn't had too much joy up against that makeshift centre-back pairing for West Ham. Here's Podence running into the penalty area, onto his right foot. Kudos comes across and makes the challenge again. Screams for a penalty from the home fans. Referee immediately turned his back on it. Podence has stayed down. I think Kudos probably got enough of the ball.
Yeah, he did get the ball. I never felt convinced by Daniel Podence hitting the floor there at all. And I'm just seeing a slow motion replay of that angle as he's going down. He's looking at the referee, then tries to make a meal of it, stay down. And needless to say, when he realises he's getting nothing for it, he's back up on his feet.
I think the referee's done well so far.
He has.
Allowed the game to flow. It is an intimidating atmosphere for him as well as for the visiting players. So loud in Piraeus. Good turn on the edge of the area from Fortounis, the Olympiacos captain, and he's drilled one into the bottom corner. It's a brilliant strike, and West Ham United are behind. All his own work from Fortounis as he picked up the ball midway inside the West Ham half, drove towards the penalty area, and then he's almost toe-poked it from 22 yards out into the corner. It's Olympiacos 1, West Ham 0.
It's a fantastic goal. It really is a brilliant strike from Fortounis, because he's just in the number 10 position, about 10 yards from the edge of the box, and the West Ham pressure is poor. It's not close enough. Ward-Prowse, Fornals, they're all a bit half-hearted in trying to close him down, and he walks to the edge of the box and he literally toe ends it right through Mavropanos' legs, and Areola has absolutely no chance. He doesn't see it till late. There's in fact a slight deflection off of Mavropanos, but it's a terrific piece of work that from Fortounis. He made it all himself. He received it 25 yards out, back to goal. A lovely little pirouette of a run, invading those midfield players that just didn't apply pressure, and he's knocked it past Areola and gives his team a deserved lead on the balance of play.
Well, fortune favours the brave. Fortounis was certainly brave there, and that lifted the roof off this stadium, and what was always shaping up to be a difficult night for West Ham, well, their task has just been made that much harder. 10 minutes the first half to play. It is the home side in front of their fervent supporters who take the lead.
They certainly do. Really good goal. Excellent piece of work from Fortounis. But again, I'd expect Ward-Prowse or Fornals. He's facing the wrong way when he receives the ball. So immediately, when you've got someone facing the wrong way in front of you, you get right up behind them. You keep sending them back the way. You don't allow them to have a look over their shoulder and say, hold on, I've got some space here, and then turn and run into it. That's the worst thing you can do, and that's exactly what they allowed him to do. It takes a speculative effort from the edge of the box through the legs of a defender, and they've got a lead.
And a challenge now for West Ham, away from home in Europe, having had it all their own way for the last year or so. 17 games unbeaten in continental competition, 8 straight group stage victories. Of course, all coming together in that final in Prague. But here's Fortounis again making his way towards the area. This time plays it out to the right hand side, running over the cross, and it's nodded over by Fortounis, flying into the near post. He wants a corner. Referee says goal kick.
Good play again. Podence down the left into Fortounis. He then looks at Rodinei in the right back position.
I think it was a corner, by the way.
Yeah.
It went out off Socha.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, really good delivery in, and Fortounis is trying to get right on the corner of the 6-yard box. He's trying to get on the end of it. Souček it was who tracked the run, threw himself at it, think you're right, Crookie. I think that one probably was a corner. So West Ham just got to be a little careful here now. No real panic. And again, we know that David Moyes does have quality on the bench if he feels he's got to find a gear.
Here's Danny Ings, who really hasn't stepped up for the mark so far. I think only the second time that we've mentioned him in commentaries. Won a throw, level with the Olympiacos penalty area. 37 gone. You're listening to Talksport 2. It's Olympiacos 1, West Ham 0. On Saturday we've got a double header for you. 12:30 kickoffs in the Premier League over on Talksport. Chelsea against Brentford, and a Yorkshire derby in the Championship at the same time here on Talksport 2 as Leeds host Huddersfield. By the time that game kicks off, Patrick Bamford's penalty from last night may just have come back down to earth. Long throw into the penalty area from Kehrer, headed out for another throw on this near side for West Ham, trying to build some pressure, trailing by a goal to nil on their travels in the Europa League. And it will be Kehrer, who just wipes the ball in his jersey, who's going to play this into the penalty area. Half a dozen blue shirts to aim at, nodded down by Mavropanos. Mike Cavacudos on the volley, and he smashed it high over the bar.
Yeah, it was a long throw that came in from down West Ham's right. Olympiacos allowed the ball to bounce in the box, which is always dangerous. And it was Kudus eventually on his right foot from just above the penalty spot. He just hit that a little too early. Could have waited for it to drop a fraction more. It might have been to get over the top of that.
As well as that game from Ellen Road in the Championship on Saturday, Talksport 2 will also bring you live an exclusive national radio commentary of Bournemouth against Burnley. Feels like a big one, doesn't it, for Andoni Iraola, the Bournemouth manager, yet to pick up a win. Maybe one or two question marks over Vincent Kompany's tactics as well, with Burnley struggling for points and certainly struggling to keep the ball out of their net.
Yeah, I mean, out of those two teams, I've seen a lot more from Burnley than I have Bournemouth. Nothing from them so far. It wouldn't surprise me at all that Iraola is looking for another job soon.
Kudus again, breaking down the right-hand side. It's a really strong sliding challenge from Retsos, the centre-back for Olympiacos, to divert the ball out for a throw. We've got 6 minutes of the first half to play. Olympiacos 1, West Ham 0 on Talksport 2. The ball thrown down towards Danny Ings by the right corner flag, and he couldn't make it stick. He wants a free kick. I think he's been poor, Danny Ings.
Yeah, he has. Not had a tremendous amount of service, but as I mentioned, that's the sort of striker he is. He needs delivery into the box. He's not going to play in the wide areas, pick the ball up and beat two or three people and cut in and smash one in the top corner. That's just not what Danny Ings is about.
This 1-0 scoreline doesn't change, as we can barely hear ourselves over the cacophony of noise inside the stadium. Would you expect to see Antonio and Bowen and the like early in the second half?
It wouldn't surprise me if David Moyes even thought about one at half time to make one change. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I think his team have been ordinary tonight. They've largely kept Olympiacos at bay, without being severely stretched. But in terms of going forward, their productive work has just been non-existent, really. All they've had is James Ward-Prowse's couple of dangerous corners. That aside, very little.
Here's Kehrer in the right-back position for West Ham. Forward to Ben Rama. Little drop of the shoulder, gets him away from his marker. Fornals in the centre circle. Rolls it out to Ben Rama down the right. Still West Ham in possession, but well inside their own half. As Ben Rama carries the ball over the halfway line. Kudus out to Kehrer. Wasn't the best pass in the world, but Kehrer was a bit slow to react to it, and that allowed Olympiacos to win it back and clear it away. And then Souček, in trying to regain possession, allows the ball to bounce off his shin, I think, and it's out for an Olympiacos throw. We've got a brilliant aerial view of the wonderful swivel on the edge of the area, and the punted finish from Fortounis has given Olympiacos the lead. Without the deflection, does Areola get there?
I think he does. Because of that deflection, Crookie, it sort of veers off towards the left hand, towards Areola's right hand post, the left hand post from Fortounis' point of view, and it just takes it away from the goalkeeper as he dives to desperately try and get something on it.
Big goal in Brighton's Group B in the Europa League. Marseille 1, AEK Athens 0. Brighton take on Ajax at 8 o'clock this evening. And in Group C, Rangers beaten in Limassol last time out there, 0-0 away from home against Sparta Prague. Here's Souček on the edge of the area, blocked only as far as Ben Rama, and then brilliantly won back by Heze. And here come Olympiacos on the counter with a goal scorer, Fortounis. They lead 1-0 with 4 minutes the first half to play. Fortounis just stops and plays the ball back into the centre of the West Ham half. Content here, the Greek side, just to keep the ball and run down the clock to half-time, having really not had too many moments of concern in terms of keeping the ball out of their net. I don't think the goalkeeper, Pashalakis, has been at all troubled so far.
Hardly had a save to make. A couple of punches, as I mentioned, from those corners whipped in under his near post, but that aside, very little for West Ham to draw from. So I think that'll be the message from David Moyes. Come on, we need a little bit more belief in our play and the way that we're trying to break this team down. It looks like we're just trying to stay in the game, and of course now they're one down. Now that changes the landscape. That means you've got to start to be that little bit more progressive in the second half.
Aston Villa still 2-0 up in Holland against the Eredivisie leaders AZ Alkmaar in their Conference League game. Goals in the first half from Bailey and from Tielemans. And we've got 3 minutes to the first half to play in Athens. West Ham a goal behind on their travels. Kudus plays the ball neatly out to Kera. Now Kudus forward into the Olympiacos half. Finds Ben Rama. Ben Rama turns away from his marker, gets the shot away, but it's charged down by Retsos on the edge of the box, and the ricochet falls very kindly for Fortounis, and he neatly skips away from Souček, finds Podence. Podence has left Mavropanos in trouble, and then he's found El Kaabi, but the ball took El Kaabi away from goal. Still manages to pick out Camera with a cross. Camera right-footed scoop ball into the area over the head of El Kaabi and out for a goal kick, with Olympiacos leading 1-0.
Yeah, there was a chance there actually. I think they could have been better there. Olympiacos, Podence it was who rolled the ball out to El Kaabi. Again, they just didn't have the numbers in the box. That should have been a corner actually. It should have been a corner because it's clearly blocked by a West Ham defender there, but they get away with that one. So look, a couple of minutes before half-time. And again, I think David Moyes just needs to get into his players. I wouldn't be surprised to see one change. I really wouldn't. 100% sure who that might be. The obvious one is Danny Ings, but in fairness to him, he's had very little support or very little to attack.
And if you're not playing much in the Premier League and you get hooked after 45 minutes or an hour in this competition, it doesn't send out a particularly positive message about his future.
Correct. You can lose a player a little bit that way, so David Moyes will be aware of that. But that's a poor ball, Mavropanos, giving it away.
He's had a bad night as well at the moment, Mavropanos, and here is Podence looking to seize upon the error. Quickly makes his way into the penalty area. He's going to shoot left-footed, blocked by Mavropanos, so slightly making up for the mistake, and the ball trickles out of play for a throw on this near side. We've got 1 minute plus stoppage time to play. Olympiacos 1, West Ham 0. David Moyes is out gesticulating on the edge of the technical area.
Yeah, I don't think the West Ham boss is going to be too enamoured with what he's seen first half. He's seen some careless passing. He's seen the team not closing down quick enough on the edge of their own box, that's for sure. We saw that with the goal. But I think there might be a few harsh words for one or two. I think they've been a little passive and very ordinary so far.
Yeah, certainly not had the vim and vigour of that victory away from home against Freiburg last time out, West Ham. If they are to extend this long, unbeaten run in European competition, they're going to have to do it from behind. We're about to find out. There is just one added minute at the end of the first half. Olympiacos 1, West Ham 0. Camera has the ball deep in West Ham territory. He's away from Souček, and he's taking on Ward-Prowse and then floating his pass out to the right, and Rodinei, the Brazilian, makes his way to the far touchline up against Pablo Fornals, lays it off to the edge of the box, and Alexandropoulos back to Rodinei, crosses low, left-footed, and it's an own goal from Angelo Ogbonna, and West Ham's night goes from bad to worse in Athens. It was a teasing delivery from the edge of the area from Rodinei, but one that Ogbonna really should have dealt with. He turns it beyond the despairing dive of Areola, and right on half-time, West Ham go 2 down, Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0.
That's such a bad goal to give away right on half-time. It's a really straightforward delivery from Rodinei, from that right full-back position. He cuts in on his left foot, he whips it in, the ball bounces pretty much on the 6-yard line, and awkwardly, and I've got to say, it's a real cumbersome looking lunge from Angelo Ogbonna, and he clips it and shanks the ball completely past his own goalkeeper to give the home team a cushion. Now that goal makes a huge difference, it really does. And now David Moyes does need to make some changes at half-time, because I'm afraid his team at the moment are going through the motions and they're getting beaten, well beaten here.
A sharp intake of breath from Angelo Ogbonna, captain for the night, captain calamity as far as that goal is concerned. And West Ham have a monumental task on their hands now if they are to avoid a first European defeat in 18 matches. They trail by 2-0. Here's Ben Rama, they're going to get one back before half-time, and there could be a chance for Danny Ings inside the area. He got the shot away, and it's turned behind by Pashalakis, the goalkeeper.
Chance that for Danny Ings. It really was. That's where he wants the ball. It's Ben Rama that fed it to him, and he's right in the box. He's surrounded by red and white shirts, but somehow the ball still wriggles through to him.
Well, I think at one stage he'd lost control of the ball, but that almost bamboozled Retsos because he didn't know where it was, the centre-back, and that allowed Ings to at least get his shot off, but keeper did well. Corner right at the end of the first half. Ward-Prowse trying to half the deficit. Towering header clear at the near post by Rodinei, and that will be the last action of the first half. Well, West Ham United making those 7 changes. They've played like strangers at times, Andy Townsend. You can't deny that Olympiacos, despite the fortuitous nature, certainly the second goal, have been good value for this lead.
No, they have been good value. They've been the better team. Again, they weren't always particularly dangerous at the top of the field themselves, but they played with better energy and I think better intent once they get over the halfway line. The second goal is a real blow. It's so unnecessary. It's a very hopeful delivery into the box, and if Ogbonna hadn't gone anywhere near it, the goalkeeper would have just picked it up, no problem. As it is now, West Ham have got a lot to do to get back in this.
How many changes would you make at half-time if you were David Moyes?
I would certainly make one. I think now you're looking at probably, it's not the sort of night for Danny Ings. I think I would make a change there, and possibly one other. Maybe Ben Rama. I haven't seen a tremendous amount from him. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's thinking, look, can Jarrod Bowen or Antonio or somebody else perhaps make a little bit of a difference, but they're 2 down and they're well off the pace at the moment, West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham United with it all to do in the second half. They fell behind in the 33rd minute. Costas Fortounis, the Olympiacos captain, turning neatly on the edge of the penalty area and then toe punting home from 22 yards out, but the killer blow really right on half-time. Rodinei, the Brazilian fullback with a cross from the right, should have been dealt with by Angelo Ogbonna, the captain, but he made a real hash of his clearance and he ended up diverting the ball beyond Areola. An own goal for Ogbonna, and West Ham United 2 down on their trebles. Half-time in Athens, Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0.
This Halloween is also Movember Deadline Day.
Double, top lip trouble.
And the last chance to make sure your face is fuzz-free for the new Mo growing season.
Out damned bristles, beard and stubble.
Listen to the Sports Bar as the Talksport Tash team come together for a live shave-off.
Something whiskery this way comes.
Movember Deadline Day.
This Halloween on Talksport.
The moustache is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Sign up now at Movember.com.
John's on the road a lot, so he knows how dangerous wintry roads can be. And like the rest of us, he doesn't know what's around the corner. So, he's made sure his car is safe and ready. He's picked up a new set of wipers and a rear bulb from his local Halfords. And he's just found out he can click and collect a new battery or new brake pads and discs in an hour. Winter doesn't slow him down. Shop now at Halfords. Winter, bring it on. Subject to availability, T's and C's apply. Visit halfords.com for details.
Upgrade your work van with Global Vans. We've secured thousands of leases across the UK, offering fantastic deals for tradespeople. Get a brand new Vauxhall Vivaro from just £279 per month, plus 20% VAT. Made in Britain, built to last, with free delivery across the UK. Visit globalvans.co.uk and make your van a global van. Global Vans are credit brokers, not lenders. Initial rental 3950, final rental 8810. Business users only.
Sometimes running a business can feel like cycling uphill with square wheels. But Xero online accounting software can help predict the future cash flow of your business, so you can stay one step ahead. Soon it'll feel more like freewheeling downhill. Woohoo! On a tandem. All right, mate. With a masseur on the back.
Oh, that's nice.
Search Xero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
Going to the shops isn't everyone's bag. Like Toby here. He'd rather nurture his plants, so he gets everything he needs for dinner delivered to his door from as little as 20 minutes with Tesco Whoosh.
Keep reaching for the sun, Arthur. You're growing so fast, little one. Blooming lovely, aren't you?
Carry on, Toby. Tesco Whoosh. Every little helps. Fees apply. Delivery times 20 to 60 minutes. Selected areas. Whoosh specific pricing. See tesco.com/whoosh.
At Wix, get Dulux standard 2.5 litre coloured emulsion. Was £21, now 15. Be house proud with Wix. Ends Wednesday. Terms apply.
Experience the action, the passion and the rivalry of the Rugby World Cup on Talksport with Green King IPA. Listen to Hawksby and Jacobs throughout the tournament and get expert post-match Monday analysis after every massive weekend. Featuring exclusive interviews and hard-tackling opinion that leaves nothing on the pitch.
He's tried to scoot around and he's got it in the corner!
Rugby World Cup previews on Talksport with Green King IPA's Proud to Pitch In campaign, where sales of pints and packs of Green King IPA helps raise money for grassroots sport.
Talksport 2. Traffic and travel.
In Kent, the M2 remains closed westbound. It's been shut for emergency resurfacing work from Junction 3 at Chatham along to Junction 2 for Rochester. In Manchester, the M61 northbound is partly blocked by a breakdown. It's between Junction 1 for the M60 and Junction 2 for the A580. And in Hampshire, delays continue on the coastbound M3. That's slow from Junction 11 at Winchester South. That's after a collision earlier on that's now been moved. I'm Adam Moore.
Live Gallagher Premiership Rugby on Talksport 2. Sunday afternoon from 3.
He's got it up in the air! He's kicked it! What a strike!
Hear tough tackling rugby union commentary as Newcastle Falcons take on Northampton Saints.
The bounce of the rugby ball worked perfectly for the Northampton Saints.
Newcastle Falcons take on Northampton Saints.
It's all about the grounding, and the referee's seen enough.
Sunday afternoon from 3 on Talksport 2.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app and on your smart speaker.
Europa League live on Talksport 2.
I'm Alex Crook. You are listening to Talksport 2. Half-time in Greece. Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0. Second half commentary to come. Can West Ham rescue at least a point and preserve their long, unbeaten European run? Things going much better for Aston Villa in the Europa Conference League, but a slow start in that competition for Unai Emery's side. Not tonight, Ian Danta.
No, RZ 0, Aston Villa 2 at the break. Easily Villa's best performance in Europe so far this season. They have got RZ, the Dutch side, who are undefeated in the Eredivisie, don't forget. Got them exactly where they want them. Leon Bailey put Villa in front on 13 minutes. Picks it up at the edge of the area. Boubacar Kamara's ball up to the edge of the box, deflected into Bailey's path, and he smacked it home low and true for 1-0. And it was then 2-0 midway through the half. Yuri Tielemans getting his first goal for Aston Villa after his free transfer from Leicester. John McGinn won the ball in the middle of the RZ half, looked up and played a lovely slide rule pass along the deck for Tielemans inside the box, and he nutmegged Matt Ryan, the former Brighton keeper, in the RZ goal to make it 2-0. Just after that, there was a massive chance for RZ to reduce the arrears, but their top scorer, Vangelis Pavlidis, who was presented with the ball by Kamara at the edge of the Villa box, somehow lifted a right-footed shot over the bar with the goal at his mercy. But that's as close as the home side have come. Unai Emery must be delighted with his first 45 minutes from his team. At the break, RZ Alkmaar 0, Aston Villa 2.
London and I have been talking about West Ham and their need to bring on reinforcements at half-time. I guess for Unai Emery, it could be the opposite story, because I was slightly surprised to see Ollie Watkins starting this game. John McGinn as well. Will he be tempted maybe to rest those two early in the second half?
That must be on his mind, Alex. You're right. I mean, he made 4 changes tonight, but he changed both centre-halves around. Konza and Torres have had the night off. Diego Carlos and Longley are playing. He's given a start to Tielemans, who, of course, has been he was agitating a little early in the season about, whether he was going to get more regular football, and Bailey out there. But yeah, I think as the second half progresses, unless RZ come flying out the traps at the start of the second half and get one back, I think he's canny enough, Unai Emery, that he can make a couple of switches and see this game out. I think his whole thinking was, because it's such a tight group, right, let's get ahead in this game rather than bring the cavalry on if we go behind. Let's get ourselves in front, and then we can look to make changes and bring some of the fringe players on. I think it's quite a smart tactic, and it's certainly working so far.
Yeah, it certainly is, Dan. Thanks very much for that update. Aston Villa 2-0 up, as you've been hearing, away from home in the Europa Conference League against RZ Alkmaar in the Europa League tonight. Rangers looking to bounce back from defeat against Saris Limassol in their last group game. They're 0-0 at half-time against Sparta Prague. In West Ham's group A, Baka Topola surprisingly leading Freiburg by a goal to nil. In Brighton's group is Marseille 1, AEK Athens 0. That's Group B. Brighton take on Ajax later. You'll hear updates from the Amex over on Talksport. And so too Liverpool at home to Toulouse in Group E. That's also an 8 o'clock kickoff. Again, updates over on Talksport during kickoff with Jordan Jared Bryant. At half-time in Greece, though, and so far it's a bit of a Greek tragedy as far as West Ham are concerned. But just listen to that roar here in Piraeus. These travelling West Ham players who've won their last 8 European group stage games. If they can make it 9 in a row, then they will have one foot firmly in the knockout stages. So loud in Piraeus. Good turn on the edge of the area from Fortunis, the Olympiacos captain, and he's drilled one into the bottom corner. It's a brilliant strike, and West Ham United are behind. Alexandropoulos back to Rodinei, crosses low, left-footed, and it's an own goal from Angelo Ogbonna. And West Ham's night goes from bad to worse in Athens. Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0. Yes, big second 45 minutes to come. Andy Townsend, the former Republic of Ireland midfielder, alongside me, Alex Crook, on commentary. Just to tell you what we've got coming up on a very busy weekend across the TalkSport network. Friday night, your choice of listening here on TalkSport 2. England against Belgium in the Women's Nations League. Faye Carruthers in the chair, commentary from Joe Shannon, and the former Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. That's a 7:45 kickoff. 8 o'clock on TalkSport, live and exclusive national radio commentary of Palace against the Premier League leaders Tottenham. Adrian Durham will be alongside Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce for that one. On Saturday, game day gets underway at 12:30 on TalkSport with a West London derby between Chelsea and Brentford. The former FA Cup winner with Chelsea, Scott Minto, amongst your commentary team. At the same time, here on TalkSport 2, Mark Wilson and Chris Iwelumo will bring you live and exclusive commentary of a Yorkshire derby in the Championship between Leeds and Huddersfield. 2:30 on TalkSport, Adrian Durham, Ray Parler, Mickey Graham, Mick McCarthy take you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League, the EFL and beyond. At 3 o'clock, our live and exclusive commentary here on TalkSport 2 from the Premier League is a big bottom of the table clash between Bournemouth and Burnley. Ian Danter and Alvin Martin will be calling that one. On Sunday, we have another Yorkshire derby in the Championship here on TalkSport 2. 1 o'clock kickoff between strugglers Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham. And at 1 o'clock on TalkSport, we'll be going around the grounds live from Old Trafford as Manchester United take on Manchester City in what is sure to be an emotional Manchester derby following the sad passing last weekend of Sir Bobby Charlton. We'll also have reporters watching the games involving Liverpool and Nottingham Forest and West Ham against Everton. So wall-to-wall football this weekend, as every weekend across the TalkSport network. Andy Townsend, as I mentioned, is alongside me. We await the return of the players over in Athens. What will David Moyes have been saying at half-time, Andy?
Well, I think you'll be disappointed. The second goal is a real blow for David Moyes. It is, because I don't think the team have played particularly well. The shape of the team has been all right. I think they've been okay in that respect, but there's been no threat up top. I haven't really seen Kehrer in a really advanced position. Emerson maybe once or twice. Ben Rama, one little tame shot from him. Kudus had a half chance from a corner. A couple of Ward-Prowse deliveries into the box looked quite menacing. That aside, there hasn't really been a lot to shout about. I think all the control and the possession that Ward-Prowse and Souček and Fornals have had has really been that simple basic stuff on the halfway line, just rolling it 10 yards to their right or 10 yards to their left to the centre halves. They haven't really produced an incisive pass, a pass of any real merit or quality. So I've been disappointed actually with what I've seen from West Ham, and the second goal compounds what's been, I think, a pretty ordinary first 45.
Teams are in from the Amex. Brighton against Ajax, an 8 o'clock kickoff in the Europa League. The Seagulls searching for their first ever European victory. Steele is their goalkeeper. It looks like a back four of Milner, Dunk, Van Hecke and Veltman. Then you've got Pascal Gross and Billy Gilmore deepest in midfield, with Adingra, Fati and Mitoma in behind João Pedro up front. Of course, we mentioned it earlier in the build-up to our commentary from Athens that Ajax, the visitors to the Sussex coast tonight, having an absolute nightmare in the Dutch league, in their lowest ever league position in their history. So a big chance for Brighton to get 3 precious points on the board. Liverpool take on Toulouse. No real surprise that Mo Salah isn't in the Liverpool starting lineup. Kelleher is though, and they've got a back four in front of him of Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Chambers and Matip. Then you've got Gravenberch in midfield alongside Curtis Jones, and still plenty of attacking options with Endo, part of that 3, alongside Diego Jota as well, and Harvey Elliott. Looks like Darwin Núñez will be the lone striker. He needs to get his season kick-started, doesn't he?
And I think the nice part for Jurgen Klopp is, with 2 victories already in this group phase, that he can do that. I mean, that makes sense to rotate and to give game time, much needed game time, to 1 or 2. So no surprises at all there that Liverpool ring the changes.
Or will West Ham ring the changes for the second half? That's the question as the two teams re-emerge, and the camera immediately pans to Kostas Fortounis, scorer of the opening goal for Olympiacos, on Bonnet, diverting across from Rodinei into his own net right on half-time. Have given West Ham a real mountain to climb in this second half, and it doesn't look at this stage as if any changes have been made.
No changes from David Moyes at the moment, but I don't think it will be long, genuinely. Again, I think he was well within his rights to potentially change it at half-time. Look, and again, because of the start West Ham have had, and maybe he feels, and when I say the start, I'm talking about the start in the group, maybe he feels no need to panic, and he'll trust these players for another 45.
The referee ready to restart proceedings. West Ham are going to have to come from 2-0 down to extend that 17-match unbeaten run in Europe. It is the home side Olympiacos in their red and white jerseys, red shorts and red socks, shooting from left to right to get us back underway. West Ham all in dark blue this evening, attacking the goal away to our left. And the 2 lineups unchanged. I'll run you through them in a moment, but Olympiacos immediately on the attack with Fortounis, plays it back into midfield, and Madi Camara. Here's Fortounis again, linking up on the right-hand side with Rodinei, who's been a real threat, the long-legged Brazilian. He stopped on the edge of the area. It's out for a West Ham throw. Olympiacos with Pashalakis their goalkeeper, Rodinei, Perozzo, Retsos and Ortega the back 4, Alexandropoulos, Camara and Heze in midfield, with Podence and Fortounis either side of El Kaabi up front. For West Ham, Areola the keeper, Kera, Mavropanos, Ogbonna, scorer of the own goal, and Emerson the back 4, Ward-Prowse, Souček and Fornals in midfield, Benrahma and Kudos trying to supply the ammunition for Danny Ings, who at the moment is going to go 20 games without a goal. Ings though releasing Benrahma on this left-hand side. Fornals made the run beyond him. It back into Ings, helps it on to Kudos, having been fouled, I think, Danny Ings, and the referee waited to see if there was a clear advantage. There wasn't. It's a yellow card for Alexandropoulos, and a free kick here. Andy Townsend very much in James Ward-Prowse territory.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, the defender there is pointing to the trajectory of the ball, that the way it did change direction. He felt there that it was actually Retsos, I think, that made that challenge, and he felt that he got the ball. The referee wasn't having anything of it, so it's the perfect distance this for James Ward-Prowse. It really is. I would say he's about 25 yards out, right in the middle of the goal, and obviously there's going to be a big wall in front of him, but it's the perfect distance for him because he can hit and he hits them so hard with so much dip on them. So this is an opportunity for West Ham here.
Yeah, the ball not 10 yards outside the area, almost level with the penalty spot, so he has the opportunity here to go in either direction. James Ward-Prowse scored a couple of goals already in his West Ham career since that summer move from Southampton. Yet to score in Europe. Now will be a good time to start early in the second half. 2-0 down away from home. You can hear the wolf whistles from the Olympiacos supporters. Ward-Prowse with that trademark David Beckham style stance over the ball, addresses it right-footed. Keeper guessed the right way, and it was beyond the post anyway, and it remains 2-0 to Olympiacos.
Yeah, right shape on the delivery from Ward-Prowse, but he's always starting that a little too close to the post, and then with that trademark whip on it, it drags it away a couple of yards wide. Pashalakis was across the post anyway, and I think would have dealt with that had it have been inside it.
It's a more purposeful start to the second half from West Ham,
a little better. Just trying to get more bodies forward.
Trying to get Danny Ings involved a bit more. That's a foul from Ward-Prowse on Fortunis. I think Fortunis is suggesting that should be a yellow card. He does have that in his locker. He's a nice boy, James Ward-Prowse. Ronald Koeman once said he's the type of boy you'd like your daughter to bring home, but doesn't mind a tackle every now and again.
It's a yellow card challenge. It is, because he deliberately obstructs Fortunis there. Gets away with that one, Ward-Prowse.
Camera with think ball forward, headed away by Ogbonna. Here's Pablo Fornals now for West Ham. 2-0 down with 4 minutes gone in the second half on Talksport 2. Mavropanos, who's had a difficult evening, the Athenian, back in familiar territory, comes forward over the halfway line. Now Ward-Prowse inside the centre circle. Suddenly there's just a bit more fluidity and a bit more time and space for these West Ham players.
And also the defenders on the halfway line with the ball at their feet. You didn't see them there in that first period, so I think the mindset from David Moyes at half-time is get up the field. Can't make anything happen if we're sitting on the edge of our own box.
It would be some second half performance if they could turn this game around away from home in such a hostile environment. In fact, Olympiacos wrote a public letter to their supporters before the game asking them to behave after the derby here against Panathinaikos was abandoned due to crowd trouble the weekend. Ball into the area, headed down by Danny Ings, but volley clear by Rodinei, and the noise levels will tell you that Fortunis is in possession. Clever trickery to get away from Ward-Prowse, and then as he tried to switch the play, he could only pick out the head of Thilo Kehrer.
It's a good player, Fortunis. Nice skill there. He's enjoyed himself so far tonight. Good goal, really good goal he got to get his team off and running. And then that second one, Rodinei cross and the own goal from Ogbonna was a real blow right on half-time for West Ham, but look a little bit more positive in this period.
Yeah, certainly see more of the ball in attacking positions. There's a collision on the edge of the area that the referee's going to have to stop play for here, because Emerson has taken a whack to the face. On come the West Ham physios. There's an Olympiacos player down as well. 6 minutes into the second half. It's Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0 here. There was a collision.
It's Perazzo, I think,
Emerson and Perazzo, the centre half. Yeah, the Ecuadorian.
They're just
a nasty one, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're both looking at the ball and they run into each other and sort of bang heads as well. That could be nasty. Emerson and Perazzo both felt that. Totally accidental.
Freiburg have equalised in the other game in this group. Back at Topola 1, Freiburg 1. Tremendous noise still being made by the home supporters. This has always been an intimidating venue, although they haven't had much recent success against English opposition. Olympiacos, no wins in their last 6 since that 2-0 first leg Champions League win over David Moyes' Manchester United. And they are very experienced as a football club. This is their 36th European campaign. I think West Ham have had 5 over the course of their history.
Yeah, you're right. It's a club that genuinely get excited about their European excursions. And coming into this one tonight, as we spoke before the game, Olympiacos needed a positive performance. They really needed a victory. after being a bit sluggish in their opening couple of matches. They've been the better side tonight, no doubt about it.
Will change the makeup of the group somewhat, won't it? Put Olympiacos on 4 points if this stays the same. West Ham on 6. Still in a pretty comfortable position, having played arguably their two most difficult games away from home back to back. They still play Olympiacos and Freiburg at London Stadium. The ball is played out to Podence down the left-hand side for the Greek side. Forward it goes to Alexandropoulos. I think Camera's going to shoot from a long way out here. Never really going to trouble Areola. It's behind for a goal kick.
Bad decision. Really poor decision there from Camera. Just keep the ball. You're 2 up. Keep the ball. Keep asking questions. Keep West Ham under pressure. Trying to shoot from 30 yards without the right sort of run-up or technique attached to it is a total waste.
West Ham beginning this game 9th in the Premier League table. Olympiacos top of the Greek league. Their only defeat this season in all competitions was that loss against Freiburg. As Fornals dinks it forward, looking for Ben Rama, handed away by Carozzo. It will be a throw-in for West Ham, almost level with a penalty on this near left touchline. 2-0 Olympiacos lead, as the noise will tell you. Emerson to take the throw. Still no imminent changes, it seems, for David Moyes at the moment. Well, they have got players out warming up West Ham. Here's Emerson, low ball into the area. Opportunity for Danny Ings. And he had all the time in the world. Opted to take the shot on first time. It was difficult because the ball was slightly behind him. He almost hit it on the turn, and he's blazed it over the crossbar. That was a chance.
Yeah, I think that's a good chance for Danny Ings. That you're right. It's actually cut back from Emerson. Danny Ings was kind of between 6-yard box and penalty spot, and has to sort of run back a yard and then try with his left foot to get it on target. But I still think a razor sharp Danny Ings in his best, I think, hits the target there at least.
They get one goal back, West Ham.
Oh yeah, they're right back.
So much time to play.
Of course they are.
Changes the whole complexion of the evening. They trail by 2-0. Still 0-0 in Prague. Scene of West Ham's Conference League victory between Sparta Prague and Rangers in the Europa League, and Villa 2 goals up away from home, as you heard from Ian Danter at half-time, against AZ Alkmaar. Long punt upfield by Olympiacos, but straight into the arms of Areola. Just looking actually to see if Aston Villa have made any changes at half-time. 2-0 up on their travels. Doesn't look like it. Here come Olympiacos with El Kaabi into the penalty area. Podence has made the overlapping run, tries to cut it back to El Kaabi, and it's just about dealt with by Mavropanos. It was uncomfortable for a moment.
Really good chance that. I mean, it's a great run from Daniel Podence. Goes outside El Kaabi, who waits for the perfect moment just to put him in with the overlapping run. He gets right to the byline, only about 4 yards from the near post, cuts it back. No red and white shirt there, and the blue shirts of West Ham managed to get it away.
Here's Kudus at the other end, into Ben Rama just on the edge of the area. Brilliant piece of defending by Alexandropoulos to get it clear. Jeers will tell you that West Ham still have possession deep inside Olympiacos territory. Fornals forward to Kudus. The pass back to him wasn't a great one, but it still comes to the feet of James Ward-Prowse. Fornals dinking it forward. Kudus into the area, up against Retsos. Kudus to the byline. Can he pick out a teammate in the centre? Really well defended by Ortega. Just blocks the cross. It's behind for a corner.
Yeah, Kudus there trying to get to the byline to stand something up, but it's a really good challenge that.
As it stands in Group A, West Ham top on 6 points. Freiburg and Olympiacos both on 4. Back and Topola on 2. Still fancy West Ham to progress. The defeat tonight just makes it that much more difficult. Ward-Prowse with a corner from the right, their 5th of the game. 2-0 down with 57 played. And the header from Danny Ings over the goalkeeper and onto the roof of the net.
Yeah,
another good chance.
Yeah, half a chance. I mean, Danny Ings is backpedaling there. He's gone sort of far post, and it's a deeper cross from Ward-Prowse, an outswinger. So he's about 8-9 yards out when he heads that, backpedaling. He's just trying to loop it back towards that far post, and unfortunately just gets a little too much on it.
Well, here come the cavalry as far as West Ham are concerned. Lucas Paquetá is on for Pablo Fornals. That's the first of what looks like a triple change potentially, because I think Antonio and Bowen are coming on as well, Andy Townsend.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. I think David Moyes will have seen his team make a slightly better start, as we see Ben Rama making way, as well as Pablo Fornals. I'm not sure the third one is yet.
You'd imagine it'll be Danny Ings.
I would have thought so. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, Mikel Antonio has gone to play up front, so it's a new look front three now of Bowen, Antonio and Kudus and Paquetá. It's basically going to be a 4-2-3-1 now, isn't it? With Kehrer, Mavropanos, O'Connor and Emerson in the back four. Ward-Prowse and Souček will sit in front of them. Paquetá in the 10. Bowen and Kudus out wide. Antonio up front.
Looks like Kudus might be playing slightly more infield. Might be. Just in behind Antonio.
Certainly positive changes for West Ham. They trail 2-0. Here's Podence running towards the edge of the West Ham area. Little back heel for the overlapping Ortega, but his cross is easily dealt with by James Ward-Prowse. A landmark moment, by the way, for Jarrod Bowen. His 300th club career appearance. He scored his 100th club goal against Villa in defeat at the weekend. 5 of his 6 goals this season have come away from home, Jarrod Bowen.
He's been in great form. He really has. And I'm sure would have started tonight had West Ham have not had such a positive start in their opening couple of games.
They've got over half an hour here, those trio of substitutes, to try and get West Ham back in this match from 2-0 down. They've got a free kick to defend first and foremost. Fortunis over on the touchline and was just caught there by Tilo Kehrer, was it?
I think it's actually when the ball came out to Rodnoy. I think it was Emerson that stepped in and just caught the fullback, who's been really good actually, very adventurous down the right side for Olympiacos. He really has been raiding forward time and time again.
Fortunis, scorer of the first Olympiacos goal, stands over the free kick. As like Athens equalising Brighton's group 1-1 now in Marseille. Brighton play Ajax later. Fortunis with the ball into the area, headed up but not really away by James Ward-Prowse, and not in goal, but in the end by Perozzo. Straight into the arms of a grateful Areola.
Yep, again, West Ham just a little slow in reacting to that ball when it looped up in the air. Perozzo always looking at it and going after it. Just didn't make any real definite contact, and it all just peters out.
Here's Paquetá, a real hero of that run to Conference League glory towards the end of last season. He's played it forward to Antonio, who's been caught late by Perozzo. It's going to be a free kick well inside the Olympiacos half. They are in the midst of a bit of a sticky patch at the moment, West Ham. Certainly domestically, one win in their last 5 Premier League games. They have had some difficult fixtures in that run-in. But this won't help if confidence has been affected.
No, it doesn't help. They've not really had a sustained spell of significant pressure this evening. We played an hour and they haven't really ever looked like worrying Olympiacos, rattling them, stretching them, asking big questions of their back four, trying to disrupt that back line. It's just not been that way for West Ham.
Here's James Ward-Prowse just inside his own half, away to our right. 61 gone. Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0. I wonder over on Talksport tomorrow we've got London Derby, Crystal Palace looking to hold Tottenham's brilliant early season form that's taken them to the top of the table. And here on Talksport 2 we've got England against Belgium in the Women's Nations League. And we'll also of course keep you up to date over the course of the weekend of the final stages of the Rugby World Cup. England have a 3rd and 4th place playoff they probably don't want against Argentina. And then a brilliant final Saturday night. Updates on Talksport as New Zealand take on South Africa. Here's James Ward-Prowse just inside the Olympiacos half. He's found Bowen now, who tries to wriggle into space over on the right hand side, but he's been dispossessed by Retsos, and it's cleared upfield by Olympiacos, and Mavropanos has to come across and knock it out for a throw. And very lively on the counter-attack, Olympiacos.
They have. Podence has actually been useful because he's an outlet for them. He holds the width quite intelligently when his team need to be able to find him. And then as they progress up the field and they get within 30-40 yards of goal, he starts to drift inwards and almost pick up a number 10 position. And he is good in those situations. We can all remember him in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt. When he's running with the ball at his feet coming at you, he's dangerous.
63 gone, Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0. Scenes of jubilation, sounds of jubilation here on Talksport 2 as well from the home crowd. Not stopped singing all night, have they?
Not at all. No, they haven't. They've enjoyed their team's performance because they've tried to make things happen. Olympiacos, they've been really plucky and honest and kept going. Now they've got a lead. They've got, from their point of view, they need to manage it.
Emerson into Bowen. Should be full of running, Jarrod Bowen, having only recently entered the fray in the last couple of minutes. Back to Ogbonna, scorer of the own goal that put Olympiacos into this commanding 2-0 lead right on half-time. Paquetá has been shrugged off the ball easily by El Kaabi. Paquetá, and trying to win it back, has conceded a foul.
He's going to get a card as well here.
You can see he was frustrated, having been out-muscled by the big Moroccan centre-forward, and he's just gone bulldozing into him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah. I'm sort of looking for him a bit there, a bit too much there. Lucas Paquetá, and gets himself a yellow card, so again, just needs to be sensible now, make sure he keeps his composure, doesn't make this any more difficult than it already is, this task.
26 minutes to play still. If they could get a goal back, West Ham, it would certainly set up a very intriguing finish. Rodinai has been tackled down by the corner flag by Paquetá. Lovely
Great
turn
skill
from him. And then he's been rugby tackled to the ground, and that's a yellow card for Alexandra Poulos, second Olympiacos booking.
Yeah. Great skill from Lucas Paquetá there. He's in a tight area and he just rolls the ball around Alexandropoulos, who grabs him round the waist and himself gets a yellow card for that.
And there's a Olympiacos player down by the corner flag. I think it's El Kaabi. Is this just a bit of time wasting, or has he genuinely picked up a muscle problem?
Sure, yeah. Looks like the referee's saying, because he's only 2 yards from the side of the pitch. It's Rodinai actually. And he's saying, can't you get yourself off the field and have treatment? You can. So he gets him to his feet. And the physio is attended to him on the far side whilst the game carries on.
Reminder, Liverpool to lose, Brighton Ajax in the Europa League. Goals as they go in from those games over on kick-off. Jermaine Pennant, the former Liverpool winger, amongst our team over on Talksport. Here's Thomas Soucek. 10 yards outside the area, trying to play it forward to Kudus, but Olympiacos read it all the way, and this is Podence on loan from Wolves. He's had a decent evening, and he might get an opportunity here to play an El Kaabi inside the area. Ogbonna forces him wide. That was good defending. After neat play again from Podence. He's got that lovely low centre of gravity, and he turn of pace as well. Surprising, it didn't really work out for him in the Premier League.
No, but there were times when it did, Crookie. I think that on any given day it could always be a handful, Podence. And they're enjoying themselves a little bit at the moment here, Olympiacos. They're rolling the ball around with a bit of a strut, a bit of arrogance, and they're teasing West Ham just a bit. This time it's the goal scorer, Tunis, who just invites a challenge from Emerson. He clips him and knocks him to the floor. And the West Ham boys are just getting a little frustrated here.
Yellow card for Emerson. And you're right, these challenges that are being made, they are out of frustration and disappointment, aren't they?
Yeah they are.
A brilliant scene around the stadium. They've all been given the home fans red or white placards, and they're almost putting them up in, well, it's a bit of a dance routine, isn't it? Up go the white placards, they go down, the red ones come up. Some sight behind Areola's goal. 67 gone, Olympiacos 2-0 up here for Tunis. into Podence on the edge of the area. Lovely little ball through from him to Alexandra Poulos, and it's blocked away. And out for a throw by Emerson. Clever routine, that.
Yeah, very good. Wide free kick. Played it short and just shifted the ball a little bit until they get someone free on the edge of the box, and they've got the ball again.
Fortunis has played it back to Camera. Camera, the little dink cross into the area, headed away by Ogbonna. Bowen beat into the loose ball by Francisco Ortega, the Argentine. Only his second European appearance, Ortega.
They've had some good performances tonight. Ortega's one of them, Fortunis. I think Podence has done well. Rodin has been really honest up and down the right side. The best players out there are in red and white, that's for sure.
Yeah, 2-0 isn't a flattering scoreline, no, that's for sure. Freiburg now ahead against Bakker Topolar, and that would put them top of the group. On goal difference, I think. And certainly level on points with West Ham, having beaten Olympiacos. In fact, yeah, I think they'd be, well, head-to-head it goes down to, doesn't it? So West Ham would stay top because of that win against Freiburg, even though Freiburg have scored more goals.
Both on 6 points.
Tell you what, it makes it a big game at London Stadium when Olympiacos come to town in the next round of fixtures.
Yep, they'll be on 4 points should it stay this way.
Because you would expect Freiburg at home to beat Bakker Topolar, so if Olympiacos would have beat West Ham, all of a sudden they'd be down to third. A lot of football to be played between now and then.
Of course.
Does keep it intriguing in Group A. 69 gone. Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0. Here's Fortunis out the left-hand side. Arrow pass perfectly into the path of Ortega. Podence ahead of him. Only one player in the centre. It's a dreadful cross. I think it was one of those where he struck it left foot and hit his right foot and goes behind for a goal kick.
Back to time there as well, Podence. He just didn't actually just check his shoulder and wasn't aware of that. So the cross he stood up in the end was a poor one. But they're looking as comfortable at the moment, the home team, as they have done all night. And they really are. I know that David Moyes has made the changes with Bowen and Antonio and Paquetá, but as of yet, they haven't been on very long, of course. As of yet, they've not really had any impact.
This is an Olympiacos team who've lost their last 5 Europa League home games as well, so it's, despite the atmosphere, it's not exactly been a fortress. But West Ham paying the price for a sloppy and sluggish first 45 minutes and trying to play catch up now with the big hitters having been called off the bench. Here's one of them, Paquetá, but he's crowded out of it by the red and white shirts on the edge of the area, and forward it goes to El Kaabi, and he's up against Ogbonna in the right wing position. El Kaabi might have to go alone here, jigs his way into the penalty area, cuts it back to the edge of the box, opportunity for Alexandra Poulos, and it's just over the bar. Areola guessed the right way, but I'm not sure he was getting there. Behind for a goal kick.
I like the strike. Right idea. Again, and they can do that now. That would absolutely be the way that Olympiacos should go about it now, with 20 minutes, whatever it is to go. Defending numbers, stay nice and compact, and use the likes of Podence and El Kaabi, use their pace and their willingness to run to get you out and counter-attack. That ball coming back to Alexandropoulos there, who hits that. It's always rising, but just outside the post.
It's now 4-1 to Aston Villa against AZ Alkmaar away from home in the Conference League.
Result, that. It's a good result against the team. They're currently top of the Eredivisie then.
Ollie Watkins and John McGinn with the goals in the second half. They needed that, Villa, after a disappointing start, given Unai Emery's tremendous European record. Arguably the favourites before a ball was kicked to win that competition, as West Ham did last season in Prague. 2-0 down here though, the Hammers. And despite the changes, there's still no real sign of a comeback, Andy Townsend.
No, not yet. Looks like more changes now again from West Ham.
Edson Alvarez, one of the summer signings, the Mexican, is coming on.
I think Rodinei, the right back for Olympiacos, is struggling. I think he got a dead leg about 10 minutes ago and hasn't really shrugged that off. James
Ward-Prowse making way for Alvarez, and We're also seeing the introduction of Maxwell Cornet, who's not played a lot of football since joining from Burnley at the start of last season. Off goes Kudus. And is it a night when he flattered to deceive, Andy?
I think second half he never really saw the ball. First half he worked hard and again tried to track back and do his defensive duties as well as try and make something happen at the top of the field, but a bit poor, it's got to be said. What we've seen from West Ham tonight, this is that West Ham team, as I mentioned at the start of the show, that when they play like this they appear quite ordinary.
Well, he's made his 5 changes now, David Moyes. Paquetá looking for Antonio, who's barely had a kick since coming on. He won't keep that in play either. It's a goal kick for Olympiacos, who lead 2-0, and there's 17 minutes to go. And at the moment, the body language of the West Ham players suggests they know that this is going to be a tall order to get back in the game. Quinai is coming on for Olympiacos, probably, as Andy has said, for Rodinei, the right back who picked up that injury a few moments ago, having had a really industrious game, the Brazilian. Although they're not going to take it until the ball is next out of play. The goal kick is launched upfield by Paschalakis. Down by Mavropanos towards Antonio on the edge of the centre circle. Beaten in the air by Perozzo. There was a bit of pushing and shoving between the two. Free kick has gone against El-Kaabi at the other end as he came back from an offside position. Confirmation of that change. Quinai is on for Rodinei. Right fullback for the hosts. You've been impressed with Rodinei?
Yeah. He works very hard, really game and galloping forward time and time again, and it was his cross, albeit not to one of his teammates, but it was his ball into a box that Ogbonna got horribly wrong.
Does he even need to make the clearance? Is it going through to the goal kick?
It is going through to the goalie, but as a defender you see the ball bounce in front of you, you feel you could deal with it. He should have dealt with it. It was a horrible mess that Ogbonna made of it. It's the all-important goal, because that second one has given Olympiacos the breathing space and the confidence.
Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0. Ended 2-2 when these two last met here. That was in a Cup Winners' Cup second round, second leg tie back in 1965. Martin Peters with the 2 goals for West Ham that night. Could still finish 2-2 this evening, but it looks unlikely at the moment. Here's Cornet though, bursting into the penalty area, having just come on. Good defending by Retsos across and puts the ball out of play. I think it's, has it gone all the way out for a corner?
Yeah, I think he was looking, actually, Retsos was looking for a foul there from Cornet, just tripped him after the defender had played the ball. Referee not having anything to do with that, so West Ham corner off the left with Emerson.
Yeah, no James Ward-Prowse, so Emerson will take it from this near side. Their 6th corner of the evening. Puts his right arm in the air, Emerson. It's an outswinging ball, headed away by Perozzo. There are plenty of blue shirts in the centre, looking to get on the end of that. Cornet feeds the ball into Alvarez, who's just come on. And Paquetá dinks it forward to Bowen. Bowen with a little knockdown in the area, looking for Souček, and again well defended by Perozzo. Just hoists the ball out of play for a throw over on the far side. Excellent defending from the Ecuadorian. Here's Paquetá for West Ham. Still 15 minutes to try and salvage something from 2-0 down. Perozzo plays the ball out, and then he's been caught by Antonio. And that's an obvious yellow card. And that actually started when those two players clashed on the halfway line a couple of minutes ago. Antonio deliberately there has left one on Perozzo.
Yeah, I didn't really see exactly what happened. Just looking for a rerun of it now. He just thumps into the middle of his back, doesn't he, there, Antonio? He's chasing after the centre-half, and he does deliberately clatter into the back of him. Totally right in front of the referee. It's a really foolish decision.
And it offers the opportunity for Perozzo to stay down and waste time as well. Ridiculous from such an experienced campaign.
Yeah. Antonio is now saying, why can't the player go off the field to receive treatment?
Well, I think the stretcher bearer has just been called on, or certainly the medical staff. So as we have a stoppage in play, an opportunity once again to draw your attention to the upcoming games on Talksport and on Talksport 2 tomorrow night. here on Talksport 2, England-Belgium in the Women's Nations League. That's a 7:45 kick-off, 8 o'clock on Talksport. Palace play Spurs in the Premier League, 12:30 Saturday, Chelsea-Brentford over on Talksport. Here on 2, Leeds-Huddersfield at 3 o'clock on Saturday, Bournemouth against Burnley, and 1 o'clock on Sunday on Talksport 2. It's Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham in a big derby game down at the bottom of the Championship. So watch a replay of the 2 goals. Fortunis with a punted effort from 22 yards out on 33 minutes, breaking the deadlock, and then on Bonner haplessly turning a Roddenay cross into his own net right on half-time. And Olympiacos have been pretty comfortable with that 2-0 lead ever since. We've only got 12 minutes to play here on Talksport 2.
I would imagine there'll be a fair bit of time added on at the end of this, but as of yet, we're still waiting for a bit of genuine West Ham momentum, and we really haven't seen it all night long.
Well, this is as poor as European a performance that they've produced for some time, given the fact they're 17 matches unbeaten.
Yeah. And again, we spoke, Alex, didn't we, at the start of the night about the amount of changes. What was it, 7? 7 at the start of the game. David Moyes decided to rotate and trying to give valuable game time to some. You can do it when you've got off to the sort of start they have. This isn't catastrophic for their Europa League qualifying hopes, far from it. But it's a jolt, and it's a bit of a reality check and a reminder that maybe West Ham have to continue to field their very best team.
It's Paquetá on the edge of the area. Firm but fair challenge from Camera, and they can break here. 3-on-4, Olympiacos. Fortunis leading the charge, and he's played the ball out to the left-hand side. There's an opportunity for Alexandra Poulos in the area. He's wriggled away from Alvarez, gets the shot off, and it's saved well at the near post by Areola for a corner.
Wow, I thought that was going to be number 3 there. Lucas Paquetá felt that he was fouled 30 yards from the Olympiacos goal. He was still on the floor. The red shirts just poured forward. Eventually the midfielder Alexandra Poulos gets a decent strike away, and it's well saved.
Freiburg now 3-1 up against Bakatopola in the other game in this group. 0-0 Rangers away from home against Sparta Prague, and Aston Villa 4-1 up at Al Sadd Alkmaar, as you've been hearing in the Conference League. Corner towards the near post and flicked into the side netting by Perozzo. So close for 3-0.
He's actually played well, this guy. You know, he's a very athletic defender. He starts standing right next to Areola, literally standing next to him as that in-swinging corner, and then he runs towards the corner of the 6-yard box, gets a little glancing header on it. Just for a moment it looked like it might just sneak in under the crossbar. Goalkeeper happy to see it go over the top.
Statisticians tell us West Ham have had 9 shots tonight. I can't remember too many of them being close to goals. Here's Bowen. This might change though. Bowen into the area, taken away from him by Antonio, and then the cross is straight into the arms of the goalkeeper Paschalakis. It's disappointing. Just seen a replay, Andy, the incident leading to that last counter-attack from Olympiacos. It wasn't a foul on Paquetá, was it?
No, it wasn't. It's a good stop in the end from Areola, because that could have been 3. That would have been good night, thank you very much.
They have had trouble keeping the ball out the net this season, West Ham. Conceded, of course, in both of their opening Europa League games. They've only kept 1 clean sheet in the Premier League as well. For a David Moyes team, that's unusual. Defensive frailty. Souček takes a whack in the back and goes down. Again, just landed awkwardly there, I think, as he went up competing with Manny Camara for an aerial ball.
Antonio just nudges Camara, who ends up going into Souček. Just knocks him flat on his back, probably just knocks the wind out of his sails a little bit.
9 minutes to play. Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0 on Talksport 2. Actually going to be a free kick, I think, for Olympiacos on the halfway line. Souček judged to have been the offender, despite the fact he came off worse. It's one of those where Souček was using the defender for leverage. I think that's why the referee's given a foul. Manny Camara's been booked for time wasting. I think that's a little bit harsh, to be fair. It's a yellow card. David Moyes is out on the edge of his technical area, just issuing his final instructions, having made all 5 changes that he can over the course of this second half. Hasn't altered the course of proceedings. 2-0 down, West Ham away from home. Jared Bowen back inside his own half. Into Alvarez, the former Ajax man. Alvarez, one of those called off the bench. Good ball forward to Bowen. Just flicks up off his boot. Plays it back to Paquetá. Now Souček again, trying to play it through the legs of Fortunis. Emerson, the opportunity to pick out Cornet on the touchline, the Ivorian. Here's Ogbonna well forward. Wolf whistles again from the home fans. Paquetá into Souček. Or if he could have found Paquetá, he might have been able to get a shot away. He couldn't. And here come Olympiacos on the counter, led by Camara. Forward to Fortunis. Fortunis picking out Pedent, who just slows the game down to a strolling pace. Camara back into his own half, and it's a awkward one for Barozzo, and he's conceded a throw that West Ham want to take quickly in front of David Moyes.
Yeah, clumsy play that, Barozzo.
Still 7 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Paquetá with the ball into the area, chested down by Souček, but with no real conviction it's cleared. Here's Paquetá again just outside the box, and he hasn't kept the ball at all well since coming on. He's conceded a free kick, having given it away.
Just tripped as well there. Heza, he's just got to be careful.
He has already been booked.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think there's anything going to happen off the back of that challenge, but he must be careful.
They just haven't been able to get themselves going tonight, West Ham, at any point really. Even with the big hitters being called off the bench.
It's not easy, Rookie, in matches like this when the momentum has already gone in favour of the other team and you bring players off the bench and you expect them to get up to speed straight away. Not straightforward, not always as straightforward as that. It really isn't.
It's the voice of Andy Townsend, former Republic of Ireland international. Another couple of Olympiacos changes are in the offing next time there is a break in play. Bad a night as it's been for West Ham, it's been a great night for the Greeks, getting their European campaign off and running for the third time of asking. Camera's gone down, I think, with cramp.
Just a little nudge from Thomas Souček right in front of the fourth official.
Daniel Pedent is being taken off here, and he's just had a bit of an altercation with Alvarez, who felt he was time wasting. Pedent, he can be a bit fiery, reacted to that. In the end, he's ushered out of the way by the referee. As we welcome listeners from Talksport. West Ham United 2 goals down here as they were at half-time. Fortunis, the Olympiacos captain, toe punting them in front on 33 minutes. Ogbonna turning across into his own net right on half-time, made it 2-0. Andy Townsend alongside me. I don't think West Ham can have too many complaints.
No, they can't, no. They really haven't got up to speed. No real momentum in the game at all this evening. Not up to now anyway. We are 5 minutes away from finding out how much additional time the referee's going to play, but Olympiacos have looked very comfortable. Scored their goals at good times, but they've looked pretty much in control of proceedings here.
West Ham have rung the changes in this second half. Antonio, Bowen, Paquetá, Alvarez, Cornet, all have come on. Hasn't really been able to alter the course of the evening. 4 minutes to go. It's Olympiacos 2, West Ham 0. West Ham's long, unbeaten European record is coming to an end, barring something quite dramatic. Antonio with the ball out to the right-hand side, looking for Bowen. It's behind him, and that really sums up the evening for West Ham.
Chance that was as well, you know. Michail Antonio had actually done well to wrestle that ball away from Olympiacos, and then he's got Jared Bowen to his right. Simple 30 yard rolled pass. Completely overhits it, goes out for a throw-in, and opportunity missed.
It's Georgios Masouras who came on for Alexandropoulos in the second of those Olympiacos changes. Daniel Pedent replaced as well. Solbakken it was who came on for him. Antonio with a cross from the right-hand side into the area, took a deflection, only half clear. Oh, brilliant goal!
Get in.
Paquetá on the volley, and with 4 minutes to play, West Ham have a lifeline. It's a stunning strike from Lucas Paquetá, left-footed into the corner for his third of the season, his second in the Europa League, and from nowhere, it's Olympiacos 2, West Ham 1. That is a fine strike.
It's a brilliant goal. It's a wonderful hit from Paquetá. Antonio does well down West Ham's right-hand side. He just delivers it into the box. No real threat, but it's a poor header away, looped up in the air invitingly for Paquetá on the edge of the box, and he hits it on that left foot on the volley, and he hits it sweet and true, and it flies past Paschalakis, who has absolutely no chance. And from nowhere, West Ham are back in the game. Have they got time? Have they got enough now to go on and get another?
Well, there's going to be a free kick here on the halfway line. West Ham players are furious because they don't feel it was a foul on Perot. So again, he stayed down, and all of a sudden, all that European experience that I mentioned when it comes to Olympiacos is coming to the fore. They are trying to waste time here. It was Antonio again with a challenge. I'm not sure that was a foul.
No, it's a coming together. Mikel Antonio is absolutely within his rights to go for it. The two players clash heads.
He's booked Ogbonna as well.
Well, it's only right that the game is stopped for that sort of clash heads. Referees are instructed to do that now, and it's only right that, because it was quite a heavy clash, but I think there was complaints initially from Olympiacos that it was a foul. It wasn't.
Slowly, he is being helped into an upright position. Jackson Perozzo.
I would think, Rookie, there's going to be a fair bit of time added here, wouldn't you? There's been a lot of changes.
And there have been a few stoppages like this as well.
Rodinoy went down for a spell and needed treatment. This is the second time Perozzo has gone down as well, so I would think we're going to have a reasonable amount of time, certainly enough time for West Ham, I think, to mount maybe another opportunity.
It'd be a bit of a robbery, wouldn't it, if they would snatch a point from this game?
Well, it would. It would, but you see it a lot. 2-0 is such a precarious scoreline, and they've been largely comfortable. But for the first time in the night, Antonio whips the ball in with a bit of intent, a bit of devil on it into a dangerous area. Defender not quite sure what to do with it. Average header away, and it's brilliantly finished.
And here they come again. Play having restarted. Soucek nodding it down inside the area. And that's away for a throw-in. As Retsos came across to deal with the danger, Mikel Antonio looks like he's going to launch this long into the area or into the last minute, the 90. Diego Martinez, the Olympiacos coach, all of a sudden looks a little bit concerned after folded on the touchline. Antonio with the ball into the area. Wasn't a great delivery. It comes back out to the Jamaican international, and here's Emerson. Might just be able to win his team a corner here. In fact, he's been dispossessed down by the right corner flag, and it's out for a throw right in front of the West Ham dugout.
Urgency about West Ham now, trying to get the ball back in play. It's with the goalkeeper, who's 20 yards outside of his box. It's now going across to the halfway line. Paquetá has it, and he delivers a long ball.
Yeah, towards the area, headed away by Perozzo. Can't keep it though. Well done back by Emerson. Olympiacos want the free kick. Referee not going to give it this time. Oh, and then it's Emerson who asked an awful lot of Cornet, passed it behind him. Cornet kept it in play but could do nothing with it. And then Olympiacos give it away again to Alvarez, just inside their own half. Here's Paquetá, the goal scorer. 2-1 West Ham trail. 8 added minutes at the end of the game. Still time as far as West Ham are concerned. El Kaabi has taken the ball down to the corner flag. He's not going to keep it there for 8 minutes.
No way.
And in the end he realises that and comes in field. Carries it towards the penalty area. He's got Emerson and Paquetá for companies. He's just literally going round in circles against the West Ham players. But West Ham get it back, do they? No. Foul by Antonio on Perozzo. Referee plays a good advantage. Here's Fortunis, edge of the area. Can he get a shot off? Fortunis just outside the box. Does get a shot off into the side netting. Goal kick West Ham, and they trail 2-1.
Good strike. Good strike that from Fortunis, who now wants to leave the field. He said he's had enough. Lovely run and strike from him, just wide of Areola's left-hand post.
Well, that would have absolutely sealed it. They are still a threat. Olympiacos on the counter as West Ham understandably pile forward in search of an equaliser. Antonio on the edge of the box after a long punt upfield. Here's Jarrod Bowen trying to make some space for a shot. In the end tries to play in corner. Ball is blocked as far as Alvarez. Centre of the Olympiacos half. We played nearly 2 of the 8 added minutes. Still 2-1 to Olympiacos here on Talksport 2. Emerson and Cornet linking up down the left-hand side. Level with the area, Cornet into Jarrod Bowen. Low ball from him. Antonio with room to turn. Ushers it back to Cornet. His shot is blocked.
Just wondered for a second there whether Antonio was being held.
Just looked like he went down a little bit too lightly for me. Forward they go again, West Ham, headed clear by Perozzo. The question the West Ham fans listening will be asking is, where's this urgency been throughout most of the evening?
Correct.
Because all of a sudden they look like a good team.
Well, that's what a goal gives you. Just looking at a rerun here, I'll tell you what, Restos certainly has his arms on Mikel Antonio. No big appeal from the West Ham striker, but the ball was laid into him. He's only about 7 yards out, but he's got his back to goal. Centre half marking him behind him. He's got his arms around the top of his shoulders. To me, he looks like he just tries to wrestle him out the way. Antonio goes down, nothing given.
Did you say the fact that he didn't appeal, Antonio, made me feel there wasn't much contact, and maybe that played on the referee's mind as well. There's been a collision on the edge of the West Ham penalty area. Another yellow card brandished here. It's all getting a bit needly. Well, it's the substitute Masouras who's been booked for a foul on Alvarez.
They are also out on their feet now, Olympiacos. They are absolutely shattered. They really are. They're having to defend in numbers at the back.
Long ball launched forward into the Olympiacos area, but it's collected by the goalkeeper, Pashalakis. They're going to make another change here. Jovetic is coming on just to run down the clock, I think. For Olympiacos, we've played almost half of the 8 added minutes and they've come through with this 2-1 lead intact. Stefan Jovetic, yeah, the former Manchester City player.
He's older than me, I think, isn't he?
I don't think anyone's older than you, Andy. 33 now, the Montenegrin.
33.
Made a couple of Premier League appearances for Manchester City. He's got a good European record, 9 goals in 24 European games. I'm not sure he'll get the chance to add to that tally. I think he's there just to try and hold the ball up and keep possession for Olympiacos. And it's going to be El Kaabi who goes off. And we're also going to see Scarpa coming on. Another player with Premier League experience, had a few games for Nottingham Forest last season. And he'll be on for Fortounis, the captain, scorer of the opening goal. Had a really good, first 70 minutes, Fortounis in this game?
Thought he played really well. Lovely goal. Again, no pressure on him. No one snapping away at his heels, and he was able to just turn and run directly at the heart of that West Ham defence. And really clever finish. A big toe ender from outside the box, through the legs of Mavropanos, straight at the corner of the net.
Again, this just breaks up the momentum, uses it a minute or so up.
Gives them a chance to reorganise and have a breather, bringing these subs on yet. But again, a little bit more time added on. So at least, I think, another 5 minutes yet.
Oh, almost giving the ball away there, West Ham to Scarpa. It was a nervy one from Kehrer, but they've kept it. And Alvarez has done well, shrugging off the former Nottingham Forest loanee and then wriggling away from the attention to the Olympiacos midfield. Out to the left-hand side corner. That's a poor touch. It's going to go behind for a goal kick.
It's the wrong touch as well. He could have headed that. He's let that run across his body and tried to control it. Just head it back into the box. All you're trying to do at this stage of the proceedings is keep some pressure on. Keep asking a question. Antonio might get his body and he might draw a foul. He might get a penalty. Put it in the box. He tries to pull it out the sky on his left foot and poor control, and it goes out for a goal kick.
You wonder how many more chances to put pressure on the Olympiacos penalty area that West Ham are going to get here. We've played nearly 6 added minutes. They trail by 2 goals to 1 on Talksport. To the damage done in the final 12 minutes of the first half. Goal from Fortounis, followed by Bonner right on half-time, putting the ball into his own net. A brilliant left-footed volley for the edge of the area from Paquetá, with 4 minutes to play, reducing the deficit, but Olympiacos have held firm pretty easily since then. Here is Paquetá dropping all the way to the halfway line, going long for Antonio. Got a flick on it. Couldn't find Souček, but it's only cleared as far as Bowen. Bowen trying to bring it down inside the box, and well defended again by Olympiacos. Can't keep it though, Andy.
Can't keep it. Panicking Olympiacos big time. Just keep getting in the box.
He says West Ham might get one last big chance in this game. Paquetá trying to find it with a cross. Souček with a header, 6 yards out over the bar. And maybe there was that big chance that's gone begging.
Yeah, great cross from Paquetá outside of the left boot. Scoops it towards the 6-yard line. Souček is challenging Perazzo at the centre half. Just manages to do enough to maybe disturb Souček's jump, and he can't get that header over the defender and under the crossbar.
Oh, guess what? Perazzo's gone down
again. Yeah.
Well, you can't argue with the tactics from Olympiacos to run down the clock. West Ham will be doing exactly the same, but it will be frustrating with David Moyes watching on from that corner of his technical area. The home fans almost as one on their feet, ready to greet the full-time whistle. We've only got 30 seconds of the 8 minutes of minimal stoppage time. There might be another minute on the end of that. But I think Andy Townsend, Olympiacos might get this job done.
Well, it looks that way. It does. It looks that way unless West Ham can do something incredibly dramatic. They haven't played the Hammers tonight, let's be honest. They only showed the odd little flash first half, started the second half, not a lot, made the changes, but by this time they're already 2 down. Got their goal. Since that goal, they've looked a lot more like themselves. They've been progressive, getting it forward, getting bodies forward. But unfortunately, I think they were just too passive too often tonight. And I think if Olympiacos do see this one out, they have been the better team.
Another yellow card here. Again for time wasting. We've now played nearly 8.5 added minutes. The ball is inside the West Ham half, and it's going to be a free kick given away by Antonio for a foul on Scarpa. And I think that surely will be it. We'll get full time from Ian Danta watching Aston Villa, and David Tanner, who's seen Rangers toil to a 0-0 draw in Prague as well before we leave you. In the 99th minute, Olympiacos 2, West Ham 1. Scarpa places the ball down for a free kick, which he's going to just chip towards the corner flag. Headed away by Emerson, but one back, and it's with Sol back and on the far side. And there is the full-time whistle. West Ham's proud, unbeaten record run in Europe is over. Olympiacos did the damage with 2 goals in 12 minutes at the end of the first half. Their captain Fortunis firing in from distance to make it 1-0 before Angelo Ogbonna turned a Rodinei cross into his own net. Lucas Paquetá's ferocious left foot volley from the edge of the box with 3 minutes to play came too late for the Hammers to salvage a draw. It finishes here. Olympiacos 2, West Ham United 1. Full-time thoughts from Andy Townsend very shortly.